The first thing that came to mind when watching the first 2 episodes of Apple TV Plus's new miniseries, Smoke, was, boy, does this remind me of Blackbird? The latter is Dennis Lehane's 2022 miniseries starring Taron Egerton as a complicated man with a dark edge beneath his handsome and confident exterior, while the former is Lehane's 2025 miniseries starring Egerton as a complicated man with a dark edge beneath his handsome and confident exterior. To be fair, it's not like both shows are carbon copies of each other. Smoke's visual identity, especially the jaw-dropping cinematography, is worth the watch alone. However, it's undeniable that the 2 miniseries share the same DNA, a willingness to explore the inner psyche of troubled men living on the fringes of society, whether voluntarily or not. The themes make for riveting television, and Smoke is cut from the same insightful, eerie, morbidly funny, and biting cloth as Lehane and Egerton's 2022 limited series. What is Smoke about? A best-selling author whose works have been adapted into successful, Oscar-nominated features like Clint Eastwood's Mystic River and Ben Affleck's Gone Baby Gone, Lehane created the show inspired by the podcast Firebug by Truth Podcasting Corp., which was in turn based on the real-life crimes of arsonist John Leonard. Or Smoke stars Egerton as Dave Goodson, a detective and arson investigator on the trail of 2 serial arsonists in the Pacific Northwest. Begrudgingly and at the insistence of his boss, Harvey Engelhart, Goodson teams up with Detective Michelle Calderon to help in the investigation. Calderon has a story of her own, including a complicated dynamic with her boss, Stephen Burke, and a troubled past that still haunts her. The show also stars John Leguizamo and Anna Klumsky, neither of whom show up for the first 4 episodes, and Hannah Emily Anderson as Dave's wife, Ashley. TV veteran and Emmy nominee Adina Porter has a pivotal role, too. In fact, I wish she had more to do. However, the real standout in the cast is Ntare Guma Mbaho Mwine as Freddie Fasano, a meek, insecure, and silent man who works at a fast food chain restaurant and dreams of ascending the corporate ladder. Smoke succeeds on the strength of its excellent cast. As in Blackbird, Smoke rises on the strength of its cast. Coming off the wild success of Netflix's Carry On, Emmy nominee and Golden Globe winner Egerton is reliably great here. It's also a different role from what we've seen him do. Dave has all the trademarks of an Egerton role: charm, cockiness, confidence, undeniable allure, and just a hint of edge to differentiate from the countless other cool, broken men on prestige television. However, Dave also has a darkness within him, and the show's trailer isn't shy about spoiling that particular plot point, a choice that I find wild, to say the least. Egerton is very obviously enjoying his time on the dark side, from his bizarre and often eyebrow-raising accent to his more subtle choices, especially in Dave's quieter, more unsettling moments. Emmy nominee Smollett, best known for the show Lovecraft Country and for playing Dinah Lance in Birds of Prey, is equally great here as a tortured and tough detective who keeps things close to the chest. It's not an easy role. Michelle is confrontational, slightly brash, and too haunted to be a fully functional detective, but Smollett keeps her character grounded by being openly vulnerable, even in the harshest moments. Kinnear and Spall have little to do other than be in Dave and Michelle's periphery, but whenever they're there, the show gets a bit more lively. Similarly, Leguizamo and Klumsky are disappointingly wasted in roles that amount to little more than support for the main investigation. As mentioned, though, Mwine is the one to watch. As in Blackbird, where Paul Walter Hauser stole the show from out of everyone's nose and got an Emmy for his performance, Smoke is a real showcase for Mwine. Freddie Fasano is both a victim and something far more sinister, and Mwine's performance does justice to the dilemma. It could be easy for the role to seem gimmicky. Indeed, in the hands of a lesser actor, Freddie could very easily fall into dangerous tropes. However, there is a real and compelling quality to Mwine's work. He is detached but full of longing, envious but desperate to belong to something or someone. More than one will draw parallels between Hauser and Mwine, I'm sure, and the roles do indeed share a few too many superficial similarities. However, Mwine's work is simply too magnetic, flashy without being commanding. He stands out without trying, and gives Smoke a real wildcard. Smoke is a solid drama with striking visuals. Lehane is too good a writer to produce anything less than riveting. Smoke is no different from his previous work, literary and otherwise, to both its benefit and detriment. It has solid writing and a compelling enough mystery, even if it's missing the bite of some of Lehane's best works. Indeed, there is a familiarity to not only the writer's previous works but to other prestige television miniseries about law enforcement looking for a criminal too smart for them. It's not like the show doesn't have a few ingenious narrative tricks up its sleeve, but they don't exactly knock it out of the park. Dave's writing ambitions lead to some insightful lines about the nature of fire and humans' response to it, and a few funny jokes about the sheer ineptitude of his literary abilities, but the framing device gets stale rather quickly. Similarly, Michelle's haunted backstory is intriguing but too vague to amount to anything tangible within the show's first 6 hours. In some things, especially in the reveal of the arsonists' identities, Smoke walks in strides, yet the interpersonal drama moves at a glacial pace until it eventually takes a backseat to the criminal investigation. The balance between the crime and human dramas could definitely use a bit more finesse. Visually, the show is peak prestige television. The numerous shots inside the fire, including a truly spectacular opening sequence that's so enveloping that it may very well fool you into feeling fire's hot kiss on your cheek, are perfectly executed, with stunning, vivid cinematography. In Smoke, fire is another character, ever present and always lurking, ironically, from the shadows. Similarly, director Kari Skogland packs quite a punch in the premiere, including a particularly energetic sequence from the arsonist's POV. Details like these give Smoke a real spark, keeping things going at a nice pace even when the narrative is taking its time. Smoke is certainly worth your time. Smoke needs a bit more heat to turn the fire from merely hot to truly scorching. All the elements are there, but the spark is missing to truly kick them into overdrive. The show has the opposite problem to Blackbird, whereas the 2022 show could have used an extra episode. Smoke has too many. That said, the 9-episode miniseries is a nice change of pace from the usual 6-episode format currently dominating streaming. To the show's credit, a lot of the best character-driven drama happens in the middle, an approach that wouldn't work in a shorter season. Despite its shortcomings, ambition-wise, there is simply too much talent in Smoke for it to be anything other than 9 great hours of television from a streamer that consistently delivers brilliant miniseries that sadly remain underappreciated. It might not be an instant smash hit like other shows that become addictive from the get-go, and a few too many similarities to Blackbird might make it seem a bit been there done that, but in the end, Smoke is nothing less than a carefully assembled crime drama. Smoke will premiere with its first 2 episodes June 27 on Apple TV+, with subsequent episodes dropping on a weekly basis.